Okay, dear friends, it's high time to start. Are there any investors here in the room? The main goal of this Accelerator contest is for you to choose some project to invest in. If you don't choose anything, then there is no sense in this whole 1 year long project. As business angel, I urge you to choose at least one project. So, dear friends, we're happy to welcome you here at this final investment session of the National Accelerator Contest GenerationS. We did a great job to come here. We selected about 1,800 projects. Those were the best teams that went through acceleration and coaching programs. A number of teams that are going to introduce their projects here. They will share the winning fund for 5 million rubles, and we have some special nominations that will get special prizes from our sponsors. Now I welcome at the stage the Director General of the Russian venture company, Mr. Agamirzan. Good afternoon, dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. For me, it is a great pleasure to be right now at this stage. I'm very happy to see how successfully ends this 1 year long race for leadership, which is called GenerationS. I just seen Madame Pikulova's post on Facebook, and she wrote there basically everything that I have to say here on the stage, but I lost it somewhere. So I'm going to improvise using what I remember. 25 teams that are finalists of today's contest will introduce and present their projects, and by the evening we're going to find out who is going to be the winner, who is going to be the best team, and which project is going to be the best. I would say that these upcoming 4 hours are basically the most important for those people and for us as well, the most important during this 9 months of this Accelerator contest, GenerationS. This contest was supported by Russian venture company together with Moscow government and administration, with some investment companies. And this contest turned out to be the biggest and the most important that had ever occurred in our country. We have many teams participated in this contest, and now we are having here 25 winners. And I'm quite sure those people will be very successful. And we see here some, and I'm not afraid to say this, millionaires. We see here some investors that will choose somebody from today's participants. Those people are present here in this auditorium, and today's, for us, is an opportunity to find out whether the decisions and the opinions of our distinguished jury will correspond and will be relevant to the future development of economy. We will remember today's opinions, and in some years we're going to make some other conclusions, basing on the fact whether the startups will be successful or not. So I wish all of you success. I hope today's event will be very interesting for you. This will be quite intensive, but I'm sure it will be very motivational and important for you. And I hope it will be a motivation not only for startups but for investors as well. Despite the fact that the contest is finishing, we still have a lot ahead of us. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be present here during the whole period of the presentation time, but I promise you to be here at the closing ceremony, and together with you I'll find out the names of the winners of today's tour. I wish you success and have a good day. Thank you very much. And now I welcome here for the welcoming word the President of the Supervisory Council for the Foundation for the Development of Small Enterprises in Scientific and Technical Sphere. Please, Mr. Bortnik. It's not that we're very clever managers, and I'm talking about our foundation for the development of innovation, how we call it. It's that with the help of some of our projects, we create a very wide net. And this net annually includes thousands of young people who previously were at the startup level. And that's why we are very happy that some of these young people who will be called and named winners today will be a part of our team, But we believe that these events as GenerationS are really demanded, because this is the place where people, go out at a certain very important level. Those of the teams that are here are proven to be of a high quality, and there are no doubts that these people went through counseling and a very difficult selection process. That means that their projects are really good. And besides that, this contest is very important for us, because we'll take some of you actually to our team. We promise that, and we will do that. Our foundation will provide some winners with the financial support, with grants. So from our part, we want to thank you for developing the Innovational Russian Federation. These are new innovative ideas. These are new clever specialists, and we still are facing the lack, of clever young people. So congratulations, and we'll see who wins. And now I welcome to the stage for the welcoming word the Deputy Chair of the Government of Russian Federation, Mr. Dvorkovich. Dear friends, for me, it's a pleasure to welcome you here in this forum, Open Innovations. This forum turned out to be a very traditional platform for gathering here. Yesterday, we had a plenary session where our distinguished Prime Minister, Mr. Medvedev, and the Prime Minister of Chinese Republic participated. We have many very important sessions. Just recently, I visited very important sessions on biotechnologies, medicine, transportation, CleanTech, and some other very important spheres of innovative development. Nevertheless, or rather, despite all of that, a very important part of this forum is not even the plenary session with the participation of already very successful people. I believe that the most important part of this forum is this very platform and this very event. This GenerationS event is one of the most important parts of this big forum. These innovative contests are the events that give new companies with new ideas opportunity to show the world that they have very bright ideas. They had already proven that they can present their ideas, that they can compete for the victory. Though the victory itself, it's not the prize, it's not the interview on the television. It's actually the investment support. It's actually financial support. The founder and the owner of Solar Impulse company just said us the very important phrase, "We made it." It's this pleasure of saying this phrase, "We made it," though unfortunately not all of you will be able to tell this very sentence to us, but I'm sure you will be successful at the end. I congratulate you with going through this very difficult process, and I'm really happy to see that we have this platform where young people and bright researchers and young scientists have an opportunity to meet venture companies, have an opportunity to find investors, and I hope this will be the result of today's event. I'm happy to see that Russian venture company Rosnano and Skolkovo gathered their efforts, and I also see here the Foundation for the Support of Small Entrepreneurship in Scientific and Technical Sphere, Vneshekonom Bank, and of course these all companies are very interested in what is happening, and it's a great pleasure for me to see that investors and other huge companies are interested in our startup product. We will continue our support, provide the support from our part to this very contest, and I have a lot of meetings here at this forum with different entrepreneurs and people working in the sphere of innovations, and they ask me, where do we get support? How do we realize our ideas, our project? And my only answer to all of them is that please at least find and use the mechanisms that were specially created for you by us. I send them to those specialized institutes that exist to support those startups. And then I tell them, if you see there some, difficulties, if you face there some other challenges, then you can come back to us. But we don't do micromanagement, we work from the upper side. We create those institutes that are proven to be effective. I wish you success, and I wish you a pleasant day here at the forum. And now I welcome to this stage the head of the Department for Scientific Policy of Moscow, Mr. Bocharov. I'm also quite nervous, it's very. I'm very lucky to speak after Mr. Dvorkovich, because he told all the necessary words already. I believe that Moscow made a huge step forward already in this sphere. We are very grateful to Russian venture company for our cooperation that gives us a lot of opportunities. Moscow has given us all the prerequisites for the success of our business. 40% of Moscow teams applied for participation, but not all of them went up to the finals. And this division changed drastically. What does that mean? That means that regional projects are much more motivated than these central teams from Moscow. This is a very important thing to understand, because Moscow will not survive as an investment center without any support from regions. We are really happy to see here regional companies. We are really happy to give them the opportunity to participate in the development on Moscow platforms, on Moscow stage. But yesterday we saw the direct connection between Technopolis Moscow and Tatarstan Technopolis, and that was a testimony to the fact that we have different competitive advantages. The expectations in Tatarstan can help us to start so-called fast entrepreneurship, creating here a very serious, innovative project. We are for the cooperation and let the most powerful win. I'm sure that Moscow has something to add, and that's why I welcome here Mr. Fokin, the Director General of the Center for Innovative Development of Moscow. Dear colleagues, good afternoon. It's not the first time we are meeting, and I'm sure it's not the last time. During the whole contest, and especially during the final part of it, you had an opportunity to see the Moscow opportunities, the finalists. Those of you who will prove how serious they are, who will win, will give them Moscow innovative passports. It will be like your entrance tickets to the city, and access to all the opportunities and all the resources that we have here. We are really happy to see all of you here, though, and we'll be really glad to welcome those of you who will actually choose to continue development in regions. It's not only about Moscow. We don't really have this goal of bringing everyone to Moscow. We're talking a lot about cooperation, and obviously it makes sometimes more sense to work in region than in Moscow. This is about cooperation, and this contest, it's a great prerequisite for for cooperation. This is cooperation between your regions, where you come from, and Moscow. This is cooperation within Moscow. Those are different forms of cooperation. Obviously, we're now facing the development and the strengthening of this cooperation. We believe that this cooperative future, probably in 10 years, your companies will become an essential part of Russian economy of the cities. We are welcoming you here. We would like to, make a bet on you, even the financial bet, and this is only the beginning. Next year we'll see new projects. We'll see good products of a high quality, which we will surely be using in the future. I wish you a good and interesting day, and we'll see each other again in the evening. Thank you. Well, with this, the welcoming part is over, and we start our pitch session. distinguished jury, I would like to remind you that we have two types of voting. We have an electronic form of voting at the Venture Club website, or you can use the old school paper form of voting. The first session is CleanTech, and I'm giving the floor to Dmitry Stopkin, and I will be back for IT session. Please, Mr. Stopkin, Director for Innovative Development of OEMs at company CleanTech, please, the floor is yours.
To begin up our session, I'd like to introduce the Managing Director of CleanTech Russia, Sergey Arkhipov. Good afternoon, dear friends. That's the great pleasure for me for CleanTech to open this major contest. The first year CleanTech came to Russia, to the Russian market, we started the new page of our history, though the energy efficiency technologies have been long implemented in our country. CleanTech is the international project. Despite this paranoia with sanctions, the global forum in the United States will be participated by 3 projects from CleanTech. We will compete for the best project along with competitors from 30 countries from the world. Thank you so much for your trust, for your confidence in us here, the Skolkovo Fund and other companies. Without your support, it would be challenging for us to survive, though we made it. And today we'll see the best projects of the best, proving that the potential for environmentally friendly technologies is vast in Russia. Thank you, Sergey. And for the first presentation, I invite Alexander Mikhailov to present his CleanTech project. And I know that you want to say a couple of words for other participants. Yeah, I'm here to open this speech session, and on behalf of all the participants, I want to thank you, all organizers, sponsors, and I want to say thank you for all the mentors, the sponsors. We can break all the walls with your support, and my special thanks go to Innovation Development Venture Company for the holiday, for the true holiday you made for us. Let us welcome you all. And my special thanks goes to our board. You know, it's a tough job. You'll be sitting here for 4 hours. So thank you once again. Okay, let's get it started. Once again, my name is Alexander Mikhailov, and I represent the CleanTech project, zinc silicate compositions. We have some technical difficulties. That's why we stop our time counter for a while. We all have the problem of corrosion. We almost failed to notice it. We calculated the amount of damage. That's $2 billion a year. That's approximately the value of all extracted oil in the world. If we take oil and gas field, this problem is highly relevant. 95% of all the accidents result from corrosion. And that's the other scale of the problem we have here. What we offer here, that's our innovative paint based on high module liquid substances. It doesn't burn, doesn't smell. No chemical substances, no hazardous substances is emitted into the air. You can use airbrush. It has value and good price, and it is made of sand and provides good protection for the cover. What does it give? The saving on metal up to 30%, the acceleration of production cycle, the decrease in capital intensity, and other benefits. There are many other competitors in the world and other compositions and technologies. But tough requirements oil and gas industry puts for the paint limit the opportunities for our competitors. The main competitor for us is epoxy paint. And you can see it from the table. We are ahead of our competitors by numerous aspects. If we take epoxy paint, we give even better protection and better coating than metal coating. Let's look at the market. In the USA and Europe, this market accounts to $4.7 billion. In Russia, only half of $1 billion. To cover the demand in Russia, we need half the billion of dollars in Russia. Why don't we do that? Because we don't have the solution, we don't have the good product, and that's the niche for us we want to fill in. How can we do that? Through direct sales first, and secondly, focusing on two segments of the market, industrial pipelines and reservoir equipment. And in the coming 5 years, we want to account for 6% of the market share. That's our table for the market. And from this plan, it's seen that we still lack 16 million of investment, and we want to spend this money in the following way: to certify our product in Rosneft, Lukoil, gas from another country, promote our product, and minor operational costs to provide return on investment. What do we have now? We have the product, we have the capacity to produce it, and our production is certified. We have 3 patents, 2 applications, and what's more important, we have clients already. We know what to sell, how to sell, and whom to sell, and what's even more important, we have perfect team with all fields of expertise, including finance, that's me, science and technology, sales, and finally production as such. All are young and ambitious people having expertise in the corresponding field. In the end, I want to say that our technology is a bit broader than simple anti-corrosion coating, and we have still room for improvement. We can cover other fields. That's it from my part. Thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to your questions. Thank you, Alexander. Distinguished board, any questions? Ilya? Ilya, Venture Fund, FPI. When you write United States, European markets, why don't you consider Asian markets, South Korea, where the marine industry is developed? You can take advantage of those markets too. Unfortunately, we have a challenge there. There are many data, there are much data on that, and according to the world data, we think that it's better to focus on the United States and Europe because the market data is more reliable there. Okay, more important question. Does your cover prevent from resonance from the sediment on the bottom of the ship? It's still an open question. We use this paint for the ships, for the vessels, but we had some problems with that, and there was some sediment. You should consider this market because it's really promising, especially in the context of South Korea. Yeah, first we focused on oil and gas and marine industry. That's why we're developing these directions, and marine and ship industry is our next step. Is your technology protected by international patents? Unfortunately, we don't have international patents. We have one for installation and the second patent for technology. We're gonna place the bid soon. Where did you take this idea? We just invented it. We are not a mere startup. We created the idea on our own. That's what I ask. Yes, we sit together. We took the old and outdated technology, improved on that, and end up with this marvelous product. And that gives the new incentive for non-organic compositions application. Could you please tell about the analog the companies in the United States have? And we know that there are some similar products. Yeah, originally we had the coating for NASA in the United States, and the developers got the Fame Star in the Hall of Fame of NASA, but they used the other technology for liquid glass, high module liquid glass. The question is, where you better? Don't say that you're cheaper. Why are you better? The reality is that we are cheaper, first, and second, we made more stable liquid glass. They don't dissolve, they remain stable, and we use completely different technology of glass production. Liquid glass, that's a sort of mix of silicate polymers, and we managed to make them more structural, more harmonized. And you can use simple airbrush to put this cover on the vessel. And if you use ordinary airbrush for American paints, for American covers, you will just spoil everything. Yeah, it's not a breakthrough invention, but that's a major improvement. If we take line diodes, here you can see major improvement, but the technology is basically the same. Unfortunately, the time is over. Why are you gonna use and sell this product for oil and gas industry? Why do you need Lukoil? Lukoil is just the ultimate consumer. Of course, we're gonna sell that to the local manufacturers, to the pipeline productions, pipeline factories, and other relevant industries. Thank you once again. And I want to introduce Elena Levina with NanoServe project. Distinguished board, please estimate the project. We start. Good afternoon, distinguished friends, distinguished board members. My name is Elena Levina, and I want to introduce you NanoServe project. Who of you seen the pipe from inside? That's the pipe from boiler equipment in the Kaluga region. In 3-year time, the boiler was discontinued because of the sediment. We used genetically modified bacteria to remove the sediment. That's effective and safe for the equipment. Why is it relevant? Because in our Russian realities, unfortunately, we don't have money to replace equipment. Water processing is really poor, and that results in losses, both financial as well as heat losses and destruction of the equipment, of heat equipment. What we did, we took genetically modified bacteria, and they produce monoacids that remove even the hardest sediments from the pipes. That's how it looks like on the facilities, on the premises. What we do, we work with heat equipment, heat installations, and related industries in the Krasnodar region. We work on our own through our service points. In the other regions, we work through dealers, which are certified. Our achievements, we have already dealt with more than 500 facilities all over Russia, including Gazprom Energo, industrial facilities, the Ministry of Education, and just residential constructions. We have conducted numerous of tests and signed agreements with Bashneft and the Russian Railroads and the Ministry of Education. The market is enormous for our product. According to preliminary estimates, it's 130 billion ruble a year. We clean the pipes and restore the capacity of the pipes. There is no need to replace them, so you can stick to maintenance. There is no need to replace them. We increase the effectiveness of the equipment, thus reducing the losses. In terms of heat generation, we also increase the capacity of the equipment and reduce heat losses. The technology is extremely simple. We conduct the audit first, estimate what's the damage to the pipelines, then we fill it with our bacteria, circulate it, and then the bacteria goes to the sewage. As the result, we have the original quality of the pipe, so it's fully clean. And if we talk about our competitors, simple acids are not effective and they damage the pipes. Our technology is safe both for human and for the materials, and it's cheaper. We want to account to 2% of the market in 5 years. Our team is highly expertized. And, we have the head skilled in market launch of the product. Our scientific head has vast experience in removing sediments from the pipes, and our technical director worked with the submarines and other complex facilities. We are protected by certificates and patents, and we apply for another patent. Currently, the water capacity is 1,700 cubic meters a year, and we want to expand our facilities and need the investments for that. We want to launch our product on the European market, and we make the world safer and warmer place through our technology. Thank you so much. Distinguished board of juries, your questions. Edward? Yelena, once again, it's like you are the inventors in the world. There are no similar technologies. Could you please explain what are your competitors? Because apparently you are not unique and the only. Otherwise, you would get the Nobel Prize. Genetically modified bacteria were invented by our scientists to remove certain types of sediment. But then it turned out that they are harmful for the materials. And we just improved the technology. If we talk about similar products, then it's the acids that are used there, not the genetically modified products. So there are no other companies using bacteria for this. We commissioned the survey 2 years ago to study the market and our competitors. once again, what are your competitive advantage compared to German companies, for example? Price doesn't matter that much, I know that. But the disadvantage of our competitors is that they damage the metal of the pipe or the metal of the equipment. Our ferments, our bacteria, covers the equipment with a thin layer and thus preventing further sediment. And we're gonna patent our production, our product internationally and enter the European market. Thank you. One more question. Ilya, could you open the slide with the market? Yeah, this one. You talk about market. When you talk that you have 70 billion ruble market, what do you mean? And the price is from 120,000 rubles. That's the minimal price for one facility, but of course it depends on the scale of the facility. So that's the... Okay, I got it. Vladimir. Vladimir was the first. Could you pass on the mic to him? Good afternoon. You said 583 residential buildings. Yes, that's not commercial buildings, just for residents. Does it make sense to use this technology for small facilities, for small buildings? We have smaller dealers and they take these orders. We don't do with that. It's not interesting for us. If we talk about 5-floor building with the standard building in Russia, the price for it is 120,000 rubles. In Siberia, it's about 240,000. In Moscow, it's about 500,000. That's not our price, and we are flexible in terms of pricing. The the number of days is 5 days approximately for the whole cycle. It depends on the volume of sediment and the weather. One more question. How do you protect your technology from stealing? How do you protect your bacteria from stealing so that the competitors don't take it and use it for their own? Yeah, our way is never use the original bacteria. We use them after 30 days of since 30 days of production, and when 30 days are gone, you can't go back to the original and understand how original bacteria looked like. Thank you, Elena. And I invite Alexander Smatrytsky with his project Vices Oil. Dear friends, hello. My name is Alexander. I'm the founder of Vice Oil company, and we created the biomass recycling company for organic waste to make organic waste recycle profitable. Every year we have 1 billion ton of waste, and they are processed using biogas installations. We have 5,000 of them, but the owners of these biogas installations don't get up to 2 billion euros, and that's their loss. Why is that? That's because the recycling takes up to 20 days, and it takes a lot of time. And time means money here. We managed to cut the time spent to 10 days, and that's how we do that. We have ultrasound, and the ultrasound removes the walls of the cells. So we crush cells, we sterilize it, we heat it, remove oxygen, and recirculate it. And the experiments prove that this comprehensive processing gives greater output, and the raw material is fully processed in the reactor. Of course, we have competitors, but the common disadvantage is that their technologies are not comprehensive. That's why only our technology, the technology of rice oil, gives us the opportunity to get biogas with the price of $5 per cubic meter. Our potential market is the owner of biogas installations. The volume of market is 1.4 billion euros, and it's still growing, and the Russian market potential is also enormous. We sell licenses, we provide our services, and our distribution channel is direct sales and distributor companies. Our technology partners help us with the production. What we have already done, removed the technical risks by testing our equipment on biogas installation, and we increased the output of gas by 80% and managed to get pre-order. We have 4 patents in Russia, 2 applications for international patents. We have certain agreements with first-round investors, and we got the international recognition. Our team has successfully introduced 2 technical projects. Our company comprises technical specialists, market specialists, financial specialists, and other professionals. Besides, Russian and foreign mentor works with us, and they prevent any possible mistakes. Next year, we're launched on the European market, and in a year, we will attract second investment round to grow on the European market and to enter Russian and American markets. And in 3 years, we'll increase the price of the company by 3-fold and increase the revenue by $1.5 billion. Our mission is to build safer and more environmentally friendly world through organic waste recycling. Your questions, please. Who is the owner of the project? One of the owners is me, actually, and the second owner is our technical director. When we signed the agreement with the investor, my question was whether managers are the owners of the business. Any other questions? Edward? All the projects have the same value. You lack the real comparison with competitors. You want to enter European market. What do you have in Europe? The desert. There is nothing there. Let me explain. In Europe, we have a lot of biogas installations, biogas facilities, and of course they have their own pre-treatment methods, including thermal and other ways. But our advantage is that we are energy friendly and we are comprehensive. We visited the Czech Republic installations. They don't have pre-treatment whatsoever. They have biogas reactor producing 2 megawatt of electricity, and it could be 2 times more effective. People there just don't care about making it more effective, and we're gonna help them. Thank you. So you want to scale your business throughout the world market, but if you fit your production for Russian installations, the biogas equipment is different in different countries. So it could be challenging for you to transfer your technology to other countries. Yes, indeed, there are different types of bio-waste, solid and liquid waste, and many others. We commissioned the research from the American company to analyze different types of organic waste. And for every single type of waste, we developed the energy efficiency mode of processing. And that's why we can offer this module adjusted to the client. But that's just a technical matter, and we are ready to meet this challenge. We have time for a couple of more questions. Any other questions from the audience, maybe? No, then that's it. Thank you, Alexander.
Okay, thank you. And now I give the floor to the presentation of the next project, Artyom Sotnikov Biomicrogels project. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Artyom Sotnikov. I represent the Biomicrogels company. We are working on the creation of new ways to clean water from different pollutants. It's difficult to imagine, but every hour more than 30 million of tons of water are polluted in the water. 5 cycles of different processing is needed to clean it carefully. We produce microgels from the cellulose, which is a dissolvent microgels, which work somehow working with the pollutants, helps to clean the water or the surface from it. We can use microgels in 3 different ways. First one is like detergent for hard surfaces, secondly to clean industrial water, and third to mitigate the incidents with oil spills. We'll tell you a couple of words about all of them. In February this year, we started our production and brought to the market 33 different products, detergent of cleansing products. We now cover 5% of Yekaterinburg market, and we can actually call ourselves one of the leading companies in this sphere. Now we are planning to enter the Moscow market as well. Second sphere cleansing of industrial water. You see how it works. The microgel grabs the pollutant and gives us an opportunity to easily take it out from the water. This process is called coagulation, and it's quite popular in the industry of cleansing of the water. But we have a number of competitive advantage, more other coagulants. We can cut the number of cycles up to 3 times, and consecutively we don't need that much equipment to do it. Secondly, the amount of non-processing waste is cut up to 2 times. Another time we went through different industrial test with our industrial partners, the biggest companies of Europe and the international partners. Then we saw how high is the demand for microgels. We are prepared now to start a production line and looking for partners in the United States. The third sphere is the mitigation of oil spills. You see how easily we can do that. The oil processed with microgel turns out to be a gel, and it's not a spill any longer. It's not a thin film on the surface of the water. After covering it with microgel, it's not inflammable any longer, so the safety of the works is much higher. You see that the surface of the oil spill is smaller, up to 50 times. Especially, it's very important in Arctic circumstances, for example. You have 1 minute left. And we are also now planning to start a production process. We made the analysis of the market, and we appreciated the market for 85 and 19 billion dollars a year. And there are some markets that we can sell our products. You could see them on the slide. You see the chain, the supply chain. We, after licensing, we make partners agreement, and we sell to engineering companies or project institutes our ready solution that then gives us to final customers. You see here the figures that our plans, the production for license will cost us about 35 million rubles, and the amount of sales through the dealers will be up to 85 billion rubles. Now we are trying to cooperate with Skolkovo Innegrad to get the license and to promote the protection of intellectual property. You see here our team. We have experienced business people who have already implemented some innovational product, and we have experienced engineers in our team. And please, you're welcome to invest in our development in our team. Dear colleagues, distinguished jury, please. Good afternoon. I remember a year ago you presented your project, which was equally impressive. I don't remember all the details of the presentation, but it's obviously improved. What's your business progress? Probably you remember that last year we had a plan to create a market demand, which we did. We had a plan to become a Skolkovo resident, which we did, and also we planned to make some tests on the mitigation of oil spills, which we also managed to do. And now we have some different plans, you know, the production chain and the sales plans already. Please, other questions? Do you plan to develop your own production and your own sales, or you want to sell this development to some international monster? Of course, if we have a sale offering, we will consider it, but now we have production with the capacity of 50 tons a month. Now we plan to create the technology of the production line for water cleansing specifically. On this line, we will be able to produce the... I'm sorry, you're not answering my question. Do you work on selling your technology to some companies, or you're like passively waiting? We have two offerings for buying the license, two offerings of selling your technology, right? Please, Alexandra. You wrote that you want 30 million rubles for 15% of the company, so you calculated it already. Are you ready to, you know, trade? Is it negotiable? Yes, we really did calculate, and we really appreciated our company. Though we didn't include here the amount of the cost of intellectual property, but it was like approximately. You can talk about this with our commercial director. I will introduce him after the presentation. Any more questions? Dear colleagues, please. Edward, I'm sure you have questions as well. Please, can you give the mic back then? Victor Saprikin, Barrier Corporation. This is my business card. You can come to our company. Yes, Victor, we have a very interesting membrane modification offering for you. This is the biggest company ever that brought their developments to like regular people market. Very good. Wonderful. We have still time for a couple of questions. Peter, please. Peter Lukyanov, Tech Ventures. Can you go more in details about your Wrigley dialogue? We were working on the development with the reagent cleansing of the water from heavy metal ions for Wrigley. They have certain challenges because the biological particles die from the high amount of copper, and by the end of October we'll go to St. Petersburg and we'll sign an agreement with them, which will be about the development and the supply of the system to them. So this is our project. We give them the final decision solution, but we cooperate with engineering companies on that. Yes, still we have time for one question. Are there any questions from the auditorium? If no, then thank you very much, Artem.
И для завершающего.
Well, to final presentation in this section, I welcome here Jana Chekrishova with her project that is called Aqua Agro Sorb. Good afternoon, distinguished experts. My name is Jana Chekrishova, and I would like to introduce my project, Aqua Agro Sorb, hydrogels for agriculture. How does it look like? It looks like a polymer powder, and while I'm talking, you see it absorbing the water, and you'll see how it's functioning. I'll continue talking meanwhile. My question is, do you all remember the summer of 2010 when there was this smog problem in Moscow? You remember when there was smog here, this is what happened on the southern part of Russia. There was a huge drought in Russia, and probably the same is now happening in California, and there is a huge crop loss, and all the agricultural facilities are losing their revenue. You see here how it is all interconnected. After the droughts, there is a crop loss, then there is a loss of revenues, and another chain is after the climate change, we see another low crop yield. So we invented a humidity absorbent on the polymer matrix base. After processing the soil with this instrument, with this powder, with this gel, we can cut the number of watering actually of the soil. It's very sustainable for the high temperatures, which is very important in southern and sunny regions. How does that work? We put the hydrogel in a dry condition, about 50 kilos for 1 hectare. We put it in the soil. After we water the soil, the hydrogel absorbs the water, and when the drought starts, the soil can use that humidity from hydrogel. The potential is quite big. We here in Russia have about 13 regions with possible droughts. This can also be very interesting for Arab countries, for India, Kazakhstan, and China. Speaking about our competitors, yes, we do have some. There are European analogs, there are Asian analogs. But if we have a look at this diagram, you see that the absorption activity of our product is the highest ever. So that means it can absorb the highest amount of water. It's also very sustainable, and it's temperature proof, so-called, and we are in the middle price category. Speaking about our business model, we're now planning to sell the hydrogel through the distributors of agricultural industry, agro holdings, and farm companies. After obtaining our own patent, we'll start selling to chemical facilities and the fertilizers producers. We have also some social plans. We plan to be a participant of the World Bank and United Nations programs that aim to solve the drought problem. What we have done already, our roadmap, we made some lab trials. We made an application to Botnik Foundation, and we also work with some partners to certify our products. We now are under the negotiation process with the market. We still need the foundation to create the testing batch where we will bring to the drought region to make the testings. That after that we will invest our first clients. We have 4 people in our team. 2 of them are on this slide. The founder of the company is Maja Uspenska. She's a chemistry professor of St. Petersburg Technical University. She had worked already with LG and Ministry of Emergencies of Russia. And I'm the development manager of the project. I still have a few seconds left. I would like to share with you my discovery. Last week, I made my first parachute jump for the first time, and when we were going up in the sky, I saw a wonderful Earth, and it looked really beautiful. And the CleanTech is about to keep it as beautiful as it was. Thank you very much, Jana. I will just give it to you to have a look at it. Yes, it reminds me of some ad on the television. Please, your questions, Vladimir, then Ilya, then... I'm not sure if you understand what you do. The entrepreneur jumping with parachute cannot count on investment because, you know, this is the forecasting challenge. Yes, I will answer with my colleague phrase. He was just making his presentation. His motto is, the main risk is not to take any risks. I agree with him, and this is my answer. Well, it's actually about investors who have to agree with you as well. Just remember that. Good afternoon. What's the margin of your product, the direct margin, the direct margin is about the cost of the product itself. It's about 250 rubles, but we are planning to sell it for 450 rubles, so it's about 50% of margin. How long does it retain its its characteristics, the hydrogel? Our hydrogel, in comparison with our competitors, works for 3 seasons. It can survive for 3 winters. It has quite a big number of cycles, so it's compressing and then it absorbs water again. That's why it's working for 3 years, actually. So how often do we have to water the soil? It depends on the situation, on the climate situation, but you can make it like twice less frequent. You can, so like if you did that before twice a week, then will be enough to do it just once a week at least. You know that Russia is quite a risky territory for agriculture. I represent Yakutia region, and my question is it good or bad for hydrogel, the fact that the soil is freezing in winter? It doesn't damage the hydrogel, so it survives 2 winters. It's not afraid of freezing. Yeah, it's then refrigerating, and that's it, right? Gennady Artemonov DuPont Company. It's quite an interesting project indeed. My question is, we use pesticides, fungicides, herbicides, mineral fertilizers for plant. How do they work together, the hydrogel with the fertilizers? Do they destroy each other? No, they don't. And more than that, due to the fact that the water is retained on the surface level, the fertilizer does not go very deep in the soil. The concentration of the these fertilizers are on the surface level, which is very good for the plants. Bosch company. My question is quite similar. Besides plants, we have some animals and insects living in the soil. Doesn't your product make damage to them? Well, if animals will eat the hydrogel, nothing bad will happen because it's very clean. People say that even humans can eat it. We made some tests, and it turned out that it's not toxic at all. If we speak about some insects that usually live near plants, it destroys those damaging insects. Those insects that are bad for plants, they try to avoid this hydrogel, so they go away. Well, so you find a certain miracle, right? You can count the cost on yourself. you like do your hydrogel is magical stuff. It does not damage bad animals, but it damages the bad influence on plants. You know a lot about your product, but you still need investor. You need some additional research. You're at the very beginning of the way. Yes, it's true. You have to be honest. You want to create the wonderful world of the future. We have a wonderful development that we tested in laboratory, and now we would like to make some real testings on the real conditions. Thank you very much. Thank you, Jana. Probably that is why the project is here, to get the investors and to develop it in the future. So I guess that our time is up, and before I give the floor to the next track, the short announcement from Pavel, the head for the development MPK Uralvagon Zavod. It's a great pleasure to participate in this session, to be a part of this wonderful jury, to see these fantastic projects. The CleanTech asked Uralvagon Zavod to make an expertise, the scaling projects equipment. So we did it, and we will give a proof of that, a proof in documents to all of them. Thank you very much. This is a wonderful result for all the startups. And to continue our session, I welcome to the stage Sergey Mitrofanov, please. Thank you very much. We had a good start already. CleanTech start. Now let's go to some serious, real business. That was a joke. I hope you have some sense of humor. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Company Pulsar Venture Capital in Kazan and me had an opportunity to work with some of those guys for half of the year, for 6 months. Now we see here less than 1% of those who really were striving to get here to this stage. We saw just beautiful works. We saw local Kulibins who tried to build a perpetuum mobile. Some of them were chosen by the juries, and they have really some potential for venture investment. Mr. Axel is not here, so our participants will not be offended by him, at least. All right, let me start if we're ready. Yes, I see that we are. Let's start then. I could talk about the track for quite a long period of time, that our joint cooperation, these are industrial projects that aim to provide the humanity with some industrial solutions. It turned out that for now there is a big, inclination towards robotics. 3 of these projects are about robotics. If you're interested, you can also familiarize yourself with the projects that won't be presented here, because those are also interested for industrial people, not only for them. And I welcome here the first project, please. Exoathlete, Ekaterina from Moscow. The floor is yours. Some of the experts, I'm sure, already know Ekaterina. Ekaterina, you have 5 minutes for presentations, and then 5 minutes for questions. Yes, I have this wonderful display for my presentation. Good afternoon. My name is Ekaterina Berezi. I'm the CEO of Exoathlete project, and I represent Exoathlete as an exoskeleton for rehabilitation. It's a flagman for medical robotics. It's a future that's luckily for us has already come. I wonder if you know that the number of medical procedures with using of robotics has grown. It grows 40% annually. In the United States, annually 140 heart diseases becomes like a very serious problem, and this figure grows every year. In 15 years, this amount will be 40% higher. A lot of people requires rehabilitation every day, and Exoathlete and this exoskeleton is a wonderful tool for rehabilitation in traumatology, orthopedic, neurology, and sport medicine. This project is realized with the support with Federal Medical Biological Agency, and one of the leading rehabilitologist of this agency, Mr. Pranikov, believes in exoathlete as a wonderful tool. The explanation is quite obvious. In Russia, there are 460,000 of people that need this. Unfortunately, this figure is growing as a result of road accidents. People become disabled. In the world, we see 3 exoskeletons. The Israel Rewalk, which went to IPO this year, its capitalization turned out to be $400 million. It's now presented in different clinics of Israel. We have Exobionics of the United States that is presented in 70 clinics in United States and Europe, and we have Ari, which is from China. Exoathlete is a wonderful solution that will help us to decrease the cost of exoskeleton up to 2 times. And the Federal Medical Biological Agencies as our first clients, which are interested in the creation of this new rehabilitation trend. We're planning to start selling in Russia in the second year, to start sell all over the world. The turnover in Russia for mechanical therapy is 10 billion rubles a year. And well, the natural people, natural persons, they buy 2.5 billion wheelchairs a year. So it's quite demanding. We have invested already 40 million rubles. We did a lot of R&Ds. We did all the testings, but we need more money. It's about 50 million rubles, which will help us to organize the first round of clinical trials, to provide us with certification, and will prepare for the serial production. What's about our team? These are scientists from Moscow State University. These are very experienced scientists and medical experts. Madam Pismena, she's a scientific head in the sphere of robotics, and Pavel is our local Kulibin. Ekaterina Berezi, I'm the founder and CEO. We are managers together with Mikhail Krundashev. We have 15 years of experience in marketing. I have an MBA in marketing, and I've realized more than 60 projects in product management and industrial design in Artem Lebedev studio. Mikhail Krundashev was a head of BBK Electronics company for the last 10 years. I'm sure all of you have a BBK player at home. I want to tell you a story. This young man, name is Denis. 5 years ago, he had an incident. He had to survive 5 gunshots. He spent many years in wheelchair. Now he's a pilot in our clinical trials. As you see, he's learning how to walk again. For him, exoathlete is a new opportunity to start living, to start going to work again, to go back to his daily life. And this is a wonderful help, and it helps him to live again. This is a very important social scientific project, and I see in your eyes and in your smiles that now you see that these people will receive the help they need. Thank you. Yes, some applause for exoathlete, please. You still have 1 minute. I think we can just enjoy this wonderful performance. Please, your questions. Or you would like to continue? Yes, this is a working prototype. Its weight is 20 kilos. The next one will have a weight of 15 kilos. We'll use more carbon, titan, and aluminum. Please, dear experts, your questions. Gennady, DuPont company. I went on internet and I saw that at the very beginning it was kind of military development, no? It has never been for military purpose. It's on electric engines that do not work for military people because they need resource battery. For military people, they need hydraulics. It's other type of system. Though it's originally also exoskeletons, our scientific team, yes, they created a prototype that can take the weight of up to 200 kilos, but it was another project. Please, your questions. What's the time of autonomous work? 8 hours. 8 hours of continuous walking. If a disabled person would like to, sit down and went up, he could do that during 2 hours, more than a healthy person actually. More questions, please, dear experts. Can I ask you a question? I see questions in the auditorium. We don't hear you, sorry. Thank you. I got from your presentation that the main competitive advantage is the price, that it's twice less than the analog in the market. What are some functional advantages of your solution? And my second question is that your calculations, considering the stage of the product, the calculation of a final price, how are you so much sure that the price will be twice smaller than the existing product? Well, the first question first, functional advantages. The engine of exoathlete helps to regulate the length of the walk, for example. It can regulate the height of the steps, so it literally helps a person to go up the stairs, for example. Another thing, it's basically adapted to our medical rehabilitation system because we developed it together with Russian medical experts. I think it's quite important about the prices. It's about $2,000 now for exact same models. Can you please come up here because we don't hear you? Grigory, please. How do you think? What's the key know-how of your product? This is the first part of my question. And the second one is, how do you appreciate the know-how separately, not for this product? Can you commercialize it somehow? The key advantage, well, not the advantage, the know-how. You have some intellectual property that it is protected somehow. What is your intellectual property and what does it protect? I guess there are a lot of R&D inside. We want to go inside and understand it a little bit. Well, the scientific part of mathematic modeling of the movement, and we wanted to create the natural walking pattern. It's the medical requirement for the fastest rehabilitation of the disabled people. They have to walk as if they are healthy, actually. So it's mathematical code that will help a person to move exactly as the health person, though it's kind of a rocket science. The human management system is what do you mean by human management? It's the system of the walking management, the engine position that will take all the signals, the interface with the brain. Those are my sensors that are sending signals and help to create this pattern. The last question, how are you planning to organize the clinical trials? Because basically you have to show how do you translate your invention in clinical effect. Does this mean that the using of this product in comparison with analog is leading to shorter rehabilitation period, or it leads to higher quality of the clinical effect, or the clinical effect is better when it actually comes? These clinical trials have to be actually randomized, so they have to be organized in equal circumstances with some of the closest analogs, at least with one of them, if you count on receiving the qualified answers to the questions. Well, I mean the clinical trial questions. Yes, the question is quite clear, and thank you for this question. The clinical trials will be done by Federal Medical Biological Agency that formulated requirements, their own requirements from their doctors that would like to use this product. Now they're using locomats, which are huge mechanized machines that unfortunately look like exoskeleton, but they're very expensive, about 20 million rubles. Those repeat the pattern of walk of a human, and they've proven to be very effective. So our goal is to take the best from Locomats, add the IT system of the control of the physiological state of a human. We add the exoathlete control. I mean, if something goes wrong with the person, or probably, unfortunately, we run out of time. So if you want, you can do that later. So our goal is to create the product for medical specialists that they had been dreaming of for a huge period of time. Andrei. Thank you, Andrei. Thank you for coming here. Yes, please, you can wait for the results now.
Alexander, hello. I haven't introduced you yet. You're so worried that you wanted to steal my role. Let us just wait until Andrei leaves the stage. That's the project called Polymer Composite. We're following the schedule in your leaflets, but I think that the name tells more about the essence of his presentation. Alexander Chalavchi, Primorsk region. Hello, I introduce BioTechnology's project. Look at this slide, please. That's what we're gonna have in the coming 10 years in our country in terms of its infrastructure. It's basically corroding, falling apart. But there is one little detail that will make it possible to avoid this corrosion and make our infrastructure serve longer. Do you agree that it looks much more interesting? 400 years of service. And you will get rid of this when you simply are sick and tired of seeing it. That's the basalt composite. We found 1 million cubic meter of basalt in this place, and that is enough to produce these types of material. For our audience, we take stones, we take basalt, make fiber. From fibers, we make composites, and we're not just making them, we're selling them as well. Our purpose is to organize high-tech production of basalt materials which would be competitive on the market. We have nano crushing of basalt stones, and then it's heating through electric and other means. That's our team. I'm the head of the project, I'm the organizer, and I have experience and success stories in numerous businesses. Yevgeny Kudryk is our technical officer, and we have a couple of other professionals working with basalt technologies for more than 30 years already. We have also talented market specialists and production professionals. Marek Macher is the mentor of the project from St. Petersburg Polytechnical University. What we are doing now, we're already selling composite construction materials actively in our country, all over Russia. We're selling industrial equipment and technologies. Pskov is the example. We have signed the first agreement on shipment of our products to Poland. We implement the full cycle of processing from raw materials to the ready-to-use product. Our advantages: reliable distribution channels, the low cost of the production, our own production facilities, and our own research and development team. Potential market is enormous. That's the approximate estimate of the market, but the actual market is bigger than that. Of course, we do have competitors, but we have our own technical team and unique technologies, and we make better product at cheaper price. We need 7 million rubles of investment. We're willing to share this money, and we'll use this money to build our construction plant in Vladimir. You'll get first the return on investment the first year, and the payback period is less than 1.5 years. Willing to answer your questions. Any questions, distinguished experts? Good afternoon. So the Stone Age is in Dubna, and you have Ukraine here as the reference. You're right, but my engineer produced the technology in the 80s. I think you're talking about fiberglass. The Materials Institute dealt with this technology, and it was financed by the Soviet authorities, Soviet government. These are the fathers of this technology. We have the plant in Veliki Novgorod. There are many factories, there are many plants, and many competitors in Russia. The average basalt fiber production in Russia accounted to more than 6,000 tons last year. My company, based in Vladivostok, takes more than 1,000 tons of fiberglass from China. I can show you the map illustrating our geography. You have numerous ponds in the European part of Russia and only 3 in other part of Russia. I was brought up in Yakutia, and we have 1 spot there, 1 production point there, and only 3 in the Far East, only 2 in the Far East. Could you please tell, you're selling both equipment and products, composites. What are you focusing on, actually? We are on the market we have been on the market for 2 years only. We're still starting the market. But I'm insisting on the full cycle of engineering, equipment, construction, and processing. And we're willing to share our technologies with our partners, because while they will be copying us, we will be far ahead of them. We're still developing our technologies. The Stone Age company based this company in their region, but the whole technology was started by my engineer, who is almost 70 years old, working with other companies involved in industrial laser production. We want to introduce laser technology to our industry without electricity and without natural gas. One more question, please. Talking about heat isolation in Russia, we have a strong market in Russia, both from Russian Saint-Gobain, Technicol, and they all know what the basalt is and what the mineral fiber is. Do you collaborate with them? We don't need to collaborate with them so far, because we deal with the whole range of fibers, from ultra-thin for oil refineries to the continuous fibers for rocket science and space industry. And Germans made the first car using basalt plastics. we're gonna collaborate with them, of course, because these are our partners, primary partners. Since we're dealing with engineering, these are also our potential customers. Moreover, we want to share technology. The market is enormous. In Germany alone, 1,000 million tons is imported to Germany a year. And the European Commission rated fiber as top cancerogenic substance, so it will be forbidden there, and you can imagine what the market will be there. Alexander, you managed to convince us in the prospects of your product, but thank you so much. Your time is over. Our next presenter, Alexei, plasma conversion project. You have 5 minutes for presentation, 5 minutes for questions. Good afternoon, my name is Alexei, and my project is non-catalytic methane conversion. It sounds quite complicated. That's why I want to explain what we're doing in simple terms. To process natural gas into synthetic fuel or any other products of gas chemistry. So the first step is to get the synthesis gas from natural gas. That's the basic raw materials for all sorts of products. To get this gas is the key and the most expensive stage of natural gas processing, and it accounts to 40 to 70% of production costs according to different estimates. The problem here is that the traditional technologies of synthesis gas production are profitable only for large-scale producers. That means that only the biggest companies on the market, on the major fields with billions of cubic meters of gas storages can afford that. That means that small gas fields are not used, and according to the preliminary estimates, in European part of Russia alone we have more than 200 natural gas fields with 350 billion cubic meters of natural gas. What we actually do, we produce a synthetic gas which will be affordable for low-scale companies and small gas fields. That's the principle of our production. We have a microwave impact on gas, thus converting it without the use of catalyzers. We can reduce energy costs by 2-folds, reduce capital costs by 10-folds when compared to conventional ways of synthetic gas production. We don't need catalyzers. We don't have to heat up and collapse the gas. It's simple to use. Our installation is simple to use. You can just switch it on and off as the oven at the kitchen. And finally, mobility. The prototype will be approximately the size of 2 fridges to transport it easily. The estimates for the market, approximately $4 billion in Russia. In the world, it accounts to $12.5 billion. The growth rate is 7 to 10% a year. For example, Velocis company attracted a lot of money to construct GTL facilities. So this issue is really in demand abroad. Let's compare our advantages with the competitors. You don't have to have big preliminary budget, and the costs are significantly lower. We want to introduce our technology according to the pattern geography, that is Russia, USA, and other countries. Correspondingly, we are Skolkovo residents. We conduct test trials for our products and installations. You can visit us online. Our product is full cycle technology. We plan to sell licenses for our technology, and we also can provide tailor-made projects for specific customers. Our possible customers are oil and gas companies, gas chemistry, equipment producers, and so on. We have professional team. We have the high-profile professional on the gas plasma, as well as professionals from business circles. So we're able to cover all sorts of needs in terms of our projects. Sorry, but the time is over. Thank you so much for your presentation. The questions from the expert board. Thank you so much for your presentation. The question: what if you have not methane but more intensive gas, for example, associated gas? Associated gas processing is also the opportunity for us, but again, if the consumer wants to have a pure product, it can purify the associated gas from serum or other additives. So again, if we take associated gas, the composition of this gas is really unstable. What will you have at the end? Will you have synthetic gas, syngas? No, we are a young company, and that's why we started methane only, natural gas only. But I think in future we will be able to produce syngas from the associated one. You should know that these experiments with pilot equipment were made in the 60s, 70s in the Kurchatov Institute, with Popuchik being in charge of the project. People have tried that, and you should be aware of the experience conducted at that time, and the experiments failed. Our scientific leader is aware of these technologies, and we changed the construction of the reactor. We compared our products with the similar of competitors, and our technology will make a commercial application of it possible. Could you please dwell on the fundamental sources of technology? Before you came up with the engineering solution, there was some fundamental research, and where this research was conducted. It's difficult to believe that a team of professionals who have never dealt with this before started from scratch. I assume that many of your professionals have dealt with this problem for a long time. Could you please tell us about that? The head of scientific part of this project is the person specifying on low temperature plasma, and he has enormous experience in this field. I mean, plasma application for different fields. He also worked with the high capacities, conducting fundamental research at the Institute of Physics of the Russian Academy of Science. This scientist focused on the application of the technology. He conducted experiments on plasma burner and conversion of gas. At the end, they received positive feedback on plasma burner influence on gas, and they started to develop this direction to use this technology for low tonnage equipment for methane conversion, natural gas conversion. Igor, your question, please. Let's imagine the technology is working properly. Let us look at the other direction, the market of biogas, because the major problem of big waste disposal is that they have this gas there and they know how to get rid of that. Maybe they can process it on the grounds, and that could be the opportunity for you. Yeah, indeed, it is interesting. We're considering every segments of the market where we need to get the syngas from all sorts of sources. Take it natural gas or biogas. So if there are clients in this regard, we're happy to collaborate with them. GTL is just the high-profile industry now. That's why we're focused on this area. But we're not going to stick to that only. We're happy to participate in all sorts of projects. Thank you, Alexei, for your comprehensive answers. Let's move on to the second project. The new generation of industrial businessmen believe in the future of this project. That's one more project, Oleg Kivakurtsev and Alexei Zhivakov from Perm. The project is called PromoBot. You have 5 minutes, guys. My name is Alexei Zhivakov, that's Oleg Kivakurtsev from Perm, and I want to introduce our project called PromoBot. Today we have a clear understanding that in today's information noise and chaos we have in the market, it's challenging to get to your final ultimate customers and deliver your message to these customers, to stand out from your competitors, to increase the volume of sales at the end. So today we come up with a number of services, including autonomous voice and face recognition, image storage, intellectual answer and response system, and many others. That's why we can focus on 5 primary tasks for any business. First is to stand out. You just place the PromoBot in your shop floor and you will get attention of the audience, to attract the attention. That's one more target, to personalize. The robot can identify males and females, the approximate age, and even recognize the face expression, happy or unhappy. Then to sell, along with demo materials and information on products. We noticed that people want to please the PromoBot. Maybe they didn't want to buy this product, but just to study how the robot works. They buy the product to analyze. Using the robot, we give the feedback on your customers: who, when, where, and for what. So PromoBot is the provider between real and virtual world. That's the Neo from the Matrix. That's the virus you put not into the net, but into the real life, so that it delivers the real data for you. We have all sorts of promo campaigns, billboards, and media, but it's difficult to deal with them. We have competitors, of course, RIM-S, FURE-S, and ARBot. Our advantage is that we are fully autonomous. We don't need humans to work, and we have voice interaction. Besides, we're 7 times cheaper than FURE-S. Every task for every purpose for the project is to gain market advantage. But for us, market is our basic advantage. Based upon the International Robotics Association data, just to think of it, the robotics participation in promo campaigns grew by twofold, and it will grow by 25% in the coming years. We want to work with our partners in the so-called normal segment to increase the recognition of products and the value of the product. But once robots will work in low cost as well, and it will work as the horse and sell and make profit for you. You can come to the robot and ask him to bring you a chair or a table, and it will bring it to you. But today we want to focus on the companies who have already dealt with the images of robots, like Intel, Sony, and other companies. They already believe in the value of robots. We have already sold 20 robots all over the country, and we make money on additional extra software and other additives of the supplementary things. Our target is to get to the premium segment for the companies interested in the non-material assets. You will not surprise Porsche company by a cup of coffee, but a robot will surprise them. Oleg Kurtsov sold the first robot in the United States yesterday. My name is Alexey Yuzhakov. 10 years in business, 4 success stories with startups, and the end. I want to tell that the future will come by any measure and by all means. But you will see these robots today, tomorrow, and in the nearest future. Not just in open innovations, but in any other forums and shops. And if it's our future, let's make money today already. Thank you. Thank you so much. Your questions, distinguished experts. Please use the mic and raise your hand so that the others could see you. Could you please dwell on the strategy of your sales? Just a couple of words. We divided the market into 3 segments: luxury, part normal, part of the market, and low cost. Normal is fitness clubs, sport clubs, retail companies, and so on. Our robot increased sales and the value of the products there. Our future strategy is to rent the robot. Every single day we get calls and inquiries to rent the robot, but we are still waiting because we want to focus on those interested in non-material assets who want to have additional competitive advantage. Porsche, BMW, Nike, Adidas, that's the company we want to focus on. And we know who are our customers, people who believe in robotics, and I already made the list of them. Once again, first we focused on companies dealing with sales, but then we will expand on the others. Simple question. In 3 years, I've seen really similar products, similar robots, more than 10 of them already. They already can speak and they do different things. What is your silver bullet? Why are you better than the others? I guess you haven't seen us. But the answer is, we're not inventing the wheel. That's right. But we are improving the software so that our robots could compete on the tough market. We are fully autonomous. It's important. This robot has voice recognition in noisy environment, and it's very important. It can recognize faces and emotions. Of course, we have software, but you know how challenging it is to work properly. If the lighting is bad, if there is not enough light or the noise is too much, then the robots don't work, and our robot will work. So the answer is, you're just better than the others. Of course, we are better, but our key advantage is that today we are fully autonomous. We have already sent 2 robots to the Netherlands, and we will translate our robot speech into the English language. What module for speech recognition do you use? Once again, we didn't invent the wheel. We use Google driver. We use Google engine, but we added the voice recognition and noise environment for the robot.
And I am a secretary of China Mobile Communication Association, and we are so interested in this product. And my question is, maybe my suggestion is, if you want to develop Chinese marketplace, I want to explain that many supermarket in China, very large, and maybe expert you imagine. So many people really need such a robot to act as a shopping guide,
So, have you got the question? No?
Да, если я правильно понял.
If I understood you right, your question is whether there is opportunity.
Question is, can you repeat your question, please?
Yes, right. And
the question, not suggestion. You mean started with suggestion, and then
question is, do you want to develop a Chinese marketplace?
Yeah. Вы готовы ли вы работать с китайским рынком, создать модель для китайского рынка? Это последний вопрос.
Whether you are willing to work with the Chinese market. Thank you so much for the question. Of course, we will be happy to work with the Chinese market. Moreover, the idea of introducing to the Chinese market, we came to the idea a year ago when we visited Shanghai. At that time, even they were interested in this product.
If you want to develop a Chinese marketplace, we can help you.
Thank you.
Got it. Спасибо. Спасибо, ребята. Спасибо, Пермь, за вас.
Thank you, guys. We meet Oleg for the second time on these premises. Thank him once again. Let's go deeper to the robotics topic. Roman Turayev from St. Petersburg.
They took everything with you. Usually the startups do this. Probably they'll use the mic for this robot somehow. And commission for this agreement, please. Good afternoon, my name is Roman. I represent the computer robotics project, robot techniques. It's a word that consists of two words which represent today's robotic state. Every robot consists of two parts, the apparatus parts, which, as you see now, is a part of software part. And our biggest advantage, what do we sell? We sell our competencies. I mean here our team that has this unique experience, analyze to functional opportunities of mechanical systems, the management of the complicated movements of mechanical systems, and the implementation of this. The founder and the inspirer of our company, Roman Turayev. I'm here. Anton Turayev is also here. Leonid is another colleague of ours. Among the participants of our team, we have 7 people who have the PhD degrees of different universities of Russian Federation, and I can assure you this is the very, very qualified robotics team you will possibly ever find. Our solution is for industry, for cutting expenses and increasing the effectiveness of production. How do we do that? A couple of about 20 years ago. Some years ago, there was a solution of industry robots. I'm sure you all know what is that. That was the solution 1.0. But it's quite easy solution, though there is a question, why only 15% of production in the States are automatized? It turns out that these robots have those management systems that cannot provide them with the very strict and exact operation. This is when we enter. We provide the following solution for these types of robots. This is the system for systemic integration of the robots with the addition of our own algorithms. We get the robotics nucleus, or so-called meshes, with very unique opportunities. These are the parameters. We increase the preciseness of the work of robot in 5 or 10 times. The market that we aim to enter. For today, the robotics market in the industry sphere accounts for 100 billion euro, will become 100 billion euro by the year 2020. You see that 80% of this market will account for the companies that will work for management systems and their implementation in industrial and production complexes. Our competitors, yes, we do have some. We can tell you about them. This is American company Electro Impact that created the technical nucleus. So they were quite successful, though you can have a look that their accuracy is quite high, but their price is also very high as well. And well, as we understand, the necessary accuracy is required only in 30% of metalworks. The remaining 70% do not require this high level of accuracy. Our forecasts about our financial dynamics in this sphere, I don't think there is any sense in commenting this right now. What do we suggest to the investor? To finish our industrial solution, we need 2 more years. This is the amount of investment that we need. The biggest part of it will go to the localization of the engineering center of our industrial robotics, and the part of it will also go to R&D. We offer to the investor the 20% of the share of the company that has very good ambitions and that is, I'm sure, will be very successful. Thank you very much, Roman. Please, your questions, dear experts. Do I understand you correctly that you are selling software? Our know-how is algorithm. For every case, it's transformed in software. Can you upscale or descale your solution somehow, or you work within your team as well only? You can scale it, you can pack it into typical software solutions and consecutively use distributed networks that already exist. So I have an addition to this question. Do I understand you correctly that you can sell your solutions to those who are already using manipulators right now? Exactly. 1.5 billion manipulators in the market. This is exactly what we aim for. The question is from here. Do I understand you correctly that the accuracy of these robots depends on the mechanical part of it, right? Yes, it's true. You don't need to change anything in the mechanics. You are very right. Even the existing industrial robots have the capacity that we still don't use. With the help of software and algorithm, we can improve the characteristics of the robots that already are in the market. I told you already about our team. Those are 7 PhD. 2 people. Don't forget that this is a startup, though. I can give you an example, though. An average engineering company that works on the similar business can, with 30 people, cover the demand of half of the Europe, approximately. Thank you. Yes, the mic is to the left of you. I'm not quite a specialist in robotics, but I guess that the huge automobile facilities with hundreds of these types of robots are making some metal, equipment or parts of automobiles. And there is no actually need in higher accuracy of that. Well, there is a different operation actually. Our algorithm increase the accuracy in contact operations. Imagine it's not only about coloring of it, but they do really build some parts, but it's not metal work actually. If it's a contact metal work, then you need more accuracy. I understand you. Every year, 200,000 of new manipulators, customized, appear on the market. The question from St. Petersburg. I have quite a simple question. Your client, who is he? Is your client robot producer or robot user? Both of them, actually. The user of robots needs our integrated solutions. We form these technical meshes for our customers. Our client, from the point of view of robot production, is also very important. Of course, we can't introduce our solutions without very close contact, because the number of the producers of robots is quite limited. Because if you sell your software without the producers, then there are certain risks if manipulators are broken. This is what I actually was talking about. We become system integrator between the user and the producer. I have two questions. You sell service, not like the box, product in a box. So every customer, every client will have an individual solution, right? Yes, it's true. And second question, in your strategy, do you actually count on the very, deep change in machinery? I mean, change and switch to 3D printing, the change from traditional metalworks to 3D works. What's the manipulator? It's the arm without a hand, actually. If we speak about laser processing or 3D printing, imagine that we increase the accuracy of positioning. But what is it in his hand? How can this thing work without the manipulator? We can put a 3D printer in his hand or laser in his hand, but it still will remain the robot manipulator. Your product is really wonderful. I've seen your presentation many times, and I see how the level and the quality of your work and understanding of it is really increasing and improving. But who is your competitor? Who is the competitor of computer robotics? Well, R&D centers of the producers themselves, actually. But as I understand, but I'm not going to tell you all the secrets right now, we have a monitoring results which account both for academic and production part of systemic integrators. Until now, there is no solution that can be actually presented to the market. We are ahead of all of them for a couple of years at least. So this is what we call an opinion, right? Yes, probably, but we have not seen any other solution. The fact that you don't see them does not mean that they don't exist. Right, they can be deep under the surface, but yeah. I'm sorry, I have to stop this very interesting conversation. That will be it for you, Roman. Thank you very much. Our industrial track is over. I will just take a couple of minutes to make my short speech. I would like to tell a couple of words to Russian industrial workers, to Russian industrial specialists. This year, our company, Pulsar Venture Company, talked to a lot of innovators who see themselves on the industrial market. That is true. Some of them try to renew old technologies. Some of them create totally new technologies. And some of them really do not have any competitors. And these teams, they wait for you. They wait for you to pay attention to them. They wait for you to talk to them and believe in them. They wait for you to believe that in Russia we can really revive this industry by creating new, unique technologies. So we're not only waiting you here at GenerationS the next year, but we wait you every month, every day. Please do meet with these people. They are really able to change the world to the better. Thank you very much, and now I give the floor to you, Oleg Malsagov. Please, biotechnologies, Oleg Malsagov, Tomsk. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. It's 3:01, and we start the third pitch session of our event. Let me present you the biotech medical projects. And the first one will be Alexander Kozlov from St. Petersburg. His project is called Happy Screen. The time is up. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today we are really good at diagnosing the GIT diseases. My name is Alexander Kozlov, and I represent Happy Screen, which is the screening for helicobacteriosis. We give you an opportunity to make a 5-minute screening by the paramedics. In the year 2005, there was a Nobel Prize given for the discovery of the bacterium Helicobacter pylori and its role in gastritis and peptic ulcer disease. The GIT pathologies occupy the second place after the heart diseases in Russian, in accordance with Russian statistic. People are really suffering from it, and there are many people suffering of it, and this figure grows 5-10% a year. We provide the solutions for the state, the screening of socially important, socially significant diseases. The clinics will really can do that easily. It's quite easy opportunity and almost a unique opportunity to control the disease the second day after eradication start. There are almost no analogs on the primary level. There is an analog of fiber optic gastroduodenoscopic, which is actually painful. There are antibodies methods that do not work for children, and some isotopic breathing tests are quite expensive. So all the existing analogs are either expensive, painful, or quite long. Here are the customers. Those are 102,000 private clinics and about 400 state clinics in Russia, and a huge amount of them in Latin America. The key clinics buy up to 3,000 tests a year. One of our main partners is the Hospital Italiano, one of the biggest networks in the world. They have quite a big patient flow. They receive about 1,000 patients a day. According to Ross statistics, the gastroenterologists use our product a day a lot, and general practitioners are also interested in it. Our business model, we believe that in 5 years we'll have a lot of them in screeners, about periodic complex and cartridges of them. The results are biomedical engineering in New York. The strategy for the development is the forming of the academic board by the year 15, the registration in Russia, CE mark by the year 15, the production in Finland in 2015. And these, like at present, we made an experiment for the screenet for other diseases, that oral cell transit and sugary curve by the year 2016. The results are also published in Experimental Medicine magazine in New York, but we are actually basing on the fact that no one would like to use fiber optic gastroduodenoscopy, but everyone is actually willing to breathe in the tube, right? And well, you see the forecast for the amounts of financial support. We need 5 million rubles for the registration and 50 more for production and marketing. And there is also the plan for 3 years for CE marks. We see we need to start financing the 2015, and marketing in Latin America will finish by 2017. Our team that's working on the project has higher education and PhD and the leading catheter on biomed in Russia. We had 10-year experience of working together in this industry. We have 13 patents and 68 scientific publications in leading scientific magazines. We have also experts from Latin America and other countries. Our current status: we have technical and marketing documentation in 3 main languages: Russian, English, and Spanish. We've been doing technical trials, and we got the ISO standards. We prepared the technical file for CE in Spanish language, and in October, right before the start of today's contest, we signed the agreement with authorized representative on the territory of European Union, and we've made examination of more than 11,000 patients. Our representatives, and this is how it looks like, and this is our clinical partner in Chile. Thank you very much, Alexander. Distinguished colleagues, I probably will give to Alexander this mic. Thank you very much. This is quite a good presentation. You didn't say anything about the technology. What's the scientific novelty of it? The scientific novelty is that we're working with ammiac. We can get actually the result in 5 minutes. The ammonia gets to find out the Helicobacter pylori bacteria in this very acid environment. When it gets into the tube, the bacteria dissolves it into CO2, which is meta level C13 or C14, and then the ammonia, which goes out of the mouth. If there's something you put in the mouth, then all the sphincters are open and the ammonia goes out, and that's how we actually understand whether the bacteria is there or not. It's the alveolaric oxygen work that goes through the intestine in the blood. But yes, please, I got it now, but don't forget about it to tell about it to investors during the pitch session. Any other questions? What are you basing on when you are talking about the how present the problem is? The cancerogenic of Helicobacter pylori is not proven. In the year 1994, it was considered by the Oncological International Agency as a cancerogen of the first class. But it doesn't mean anything. It's a saprophyte bacteria that wonderfully exists in different forms in organism of a person. Yes, thank you for your opinion. There are probably you're right, but there is a program that in Chile, and we actually decided to participate in it. Any more questions from the auditorium, probably? What's the sales for this alternative product? Actually, there are no information on that because it was taken out of production. Now we have the infrared spectrometer, which is less expensive, but its fate is almost the same. We'd like to position our product on the primary level, about 100,000 ruble, and the test for about 160 rubles for the final customer. This is totally different stuff. We are working for the primary and massive level. Thank you. More questions, please? Please, Alexander, if no questions, then thank you for your presentation. All right, the next program is from Tomsk, the biodegradable medical materials. Please, the time started. Good afternoon. Judging by the expert who are here, this is quite promising sphere. I represent the biodegradable polymers of the medical purposes. What is that? These are the materials that the doctor leaves in our organism after actually curing it. Well, 80% of them are secure materials, 18 are fixing implants, and as you see on the picture, and 2% that are left are used for 3D printing, for orthopedics and, well, pharmaceuticals and different other stuff. Well, the prime cost for biopolymers for investor for 1 meter of it is about 2.5 rubles. The marketing cost for about 1 meter is 25 rubles, and the marketing cost of the medical product is already 3.5 thousand. We've made certain analysis. If the medical institution has a surplus budget, they use Johnson & Johnson, and they use the service and product. They forget about the secure materials problem. If the budget is quite balanced, they use the Russian production material. So the needle is imported. The needle is produced in Russia, and all the rest is imported. And they pay more attention to the product itself, not the service. In the year, during the year, usually in different hospitals, they make about 17 million operations with the using of biodegradable secure materials. So the capacity of the market is very high. So the question is, what will happen if in Russia we won't have our own secure materials? We will really suffer from it a lot, not only us, but also our patients. Our solution is the creation of the Excellency Center for Biopolymers for medical purposes. This is the creation of the products itself and polymers, and this is a research center, analytical center, and engineering center. This slide, you see the stages that we went through already and the stages that we plan to go through. What do we plan? We plan to scale the production that we created, and we want to scale it up to 5 million meters a year. It is just 0.5% of the existing market. The amount of investment that we need is 2,000 million, half of which we are willing to pay on our own. What's next? The diversification of the technology. We create the technology that gives us an opportunity to create the industrial polymer. I know that DuPont is quite interested in that and has already built a facility, a factory about that. The amount of investment for that is 3.4 billion rubles. What the novelty? Why is it innovative? The technique for producing this polymer is different from the one existing at the market. We have patent here in Russian Federation. The business model is as follows. We sell the secure materials. We have already agreement with Kazakhstan, Belarus, and Ukraine. They're waiting for our material. We sell the technological solutions. This is what we're already doing for R&D centers. So we work for Eurasian countries and R&D centers. Our team, well, you can be familiar with the surnames or not, but every year we introduce to the market about 3 successful business solutions. Investments, you can see here, half of them is yours, half of them is ours. The structure of investment, half of them, 50% is capital expenses, 30% is the logistics of the product and, well, people, and the rest goes directly for the science. Thank you very much. Distinguished experts, please, your questions. What's the competitive advantage? Why will people buy your product? Besides the fact that these are made at home, these are much less expensive. These are produced domestically, and they are proven to be very of a high quality. We made all the clinical trials. We applied for the registration. But still, what's the competitive advantage in comparison with existing secure materials from Russia? All of them actually use foreign fiber imported both from Japan or Korea. In Russia, they do not produce fiber. They are our clients, by the way. We are going to sell them. We do not change the distribution chain. We try to include ourselves in the existing one. As I understood, you have an experienced production right now, and you are already producing this secure, right? Yes, we do produce it. It's under the registration in Rosnadzor. Do you have actually any demands, any offers from clinics that they are registered? Yes, we do, but it's not about clinics. Our client is a Russian producer. We do not produce the sterile Secure. We sell our product to the producers. From the producers, yes, we have almost demands from almost all the markets. So it's like the replacement for import, right? Sorry, I was a little bit late. Do you produce it on your own? I mean the chemical part of it. Yes, from acid till the final product is our own production. You do that in Tomsk, right? Yes. And what's the capacity of your production? It's 1 ton of polymer. A year, 1 ton a year. Well, but the Secure has the weight of 0.04 grams. How much of a Secure you can do from 1 ton? You can actually put it around the earth like 3 times. For the whole market, I mean world market is 0.3% from the market, this 1 ton, okay? Thank you for your question, right? How do you appreciate the perspective of your own success out of the Russian market? Will you be able to be competitors with the Secure producers at the world market? Yes, through the existing distribution scheme, we will be able to do that. If it turns out to be cheaper, you can use the product more often, and people are happier with that. You don't need to bother about it. If you lose the logistics advantage in Russia, will it still be cheaper than foreign? Yes, we excluded one technological stage that still exists in international production, so that's why it will remain cheaper. If you involve venture investor, if it goes well, what's the exit strategy? We will buy it on our own. We will buy the whole strategy in 3 years. If the capitalization will be too high, if there are going to be really booming growth, if it's going to be too expensive, what are you going to do? Unfortunately, I can't, dwell on this. If it happens, we'll think. But probably you have some thought. You'll go on IPO, you will sell yourself to some strategical partner. Well, of course, it's about using the Russian raw materials. This is the national health stuff. Probably state structures will be interested in it and they will just take it. Who's your global competitors? Globally, it's Johnson & Johnson, Lisorbo, Lip Brown. Those are like not our competitors, but the producers of final product. Autos Futures Committee, there are about like 10 players of them. Well, there are like Tycon and Autos Future, but this is a trademark for Johnson & Johnson. You are they're like full-fledged competitor. We're not competitors, we are Russian producers. It's about how are you going to win the global share of the market. We're not going to do that. If it's going to be cheaper, the product will do it on its own. The most important part here is the strategy. More questions? Thank you, Alexei. Yeah, the mic, please return back there, and next presentation.
The next project comes from Moscow, Sergei Agafonov. Diva nebulizer. Hello, everybody. I'm gonna talk about the medical equipment. We have a cold season now. Everybody gets cold, children, adults, and sometimes you have to use our product on a regular basis, on a daily basis. And seeing this, I introduce you our product, nebulizer. That's the product which is sometimes the most effective way to treat acute and chronic diseases, blood diseases, tuberculosis, asthma, and many others. The problem is that we have to affect the different parts of breathing system from nose to lungs. To do that, we disperse different substances, and we have numerous inhalers to do this, and there is no single universal tool. Our company has been dealing with this for many years already, and we used our technologies for nebulizers and managed to get the highest rate of dispersity using wind technology or turbine technology. Two main properties of this equipment is the ability to disperse AL substances and substances with different viscosity. To do that, we use steam nebulizers. So these steam nebulizers are widespread on the market, but they are really low effective. Our other advantage is that we can disperse pulver substances, and our nebulizer is the first product which can do that. This product will be developed according to the federal program, and the commissioner was the Ministry of Trade of the Russian Federation. Currently, we have produced a sample batch, and we are working to register this product and enter the market. For the market, it's not the actual figures we're interested in. The market in the States accounts to $100 million. That is one nebulizer per 160 person. In Russia, it's only one nebulizer per 400 people, so there is still big room for growth. The team is comprised by scientists from Perm Technical University and experienced businessmen. We are also the Skolkovo residents. That's our competitors you can buy in pharmacies, in drugstores. Almost all of them are produced and manufactured in China, and they are almost all identical. We target on the average price segment, and that's our prime. That's our nebulizer. We have home and professional models. They are different in terms of screen, buttons, and other features. We have children versions, and that's the model we're gonna produce in 2 formats in different colors. And this small detail on top of that, we're gonna produce that in the form of cartoon creatures and this sort of things, cartoon characters, to make it more interesting for children. We need $500,000 investment to penetrate the market. We plan to launch the unique, attractive, and effective product on the market. We think that's the best option to replace import. Since I have 40 seconds left, I want to say the most important thing. We are unique in this regard. We have unique competitive advantage, and we want this Russian thing to be present in all corners of the world and raise a bit money out of that. Thank you. Distinguished experts, could you pass on the mic to Evgeny? Okay, I'll give you yours. Thank you. It's a nice product, nice equipment. But I disagree that there are no nebulizers in the world who are able to disperse pulver substances. So I would suggest for you to study the market a bit deeper, because they are on the market in the United States, for example. What's the size of the particle you can deliver to the lungs of human, and how deep they get to the vascular system? Have you conducted trials on that? Thank you for the question. Let's go step by step. We'll talk about long-term, small portion dispersion. all the nebulizers you have on the market, they, to put it roughly, shoot the pulver into your body, and that's how it gets into the lungs and to the body. We are focused on long-term dispersion. So far, not a single nebulizer can do that, and our product will give rise to new substances, to new medicine, because pulver is the best option to store many sorts of medicine, and with many cold diseases, flu and other types of diseases, pulver is the best option, the best mode of treatment. We studied the competitors, and they said that the dispersion rate is from 1 to 5 microns. We have been dealing with this topic for a long time, and I can assure you that that's lie. Minimal dispersity is 5 microns, and I can assure you that 1 micron is the dispersity we can provide. Talking about the size of the particle, the smaller the powder particles, the better efficiency. So our nebulizer works with the pulver particles up to half the millimeter. Look at this. There's one box in each nebulizer, and our product will be equipped with four boxes for pulver substances, for oil substances, and for saturated substances, water, emulsions. I think it's a nice looking device. Of course, it's subjective, but I showed this model to other people and our colleagues, and they said that design is really cool. Any other questions? You're talking about design, but you haven't said a single word about your know-how and what your advantage compared to the world competitors. Regular nebulizers work as regular nebulizers using pressure and thus dispersing the substance. We have a box with a small tornado, and there, by this effect, by tornado effect, you have natural injection. As soon as substance gets inside the box, it mixes up with the gas, and you get the substance, liquid gas substance, and then we shoot the substance into the lungs. We did that with concrete. We tried it with concrete in theaters, using concrete to disperse its particles, and we know a lot about dispersion. Have you thought of the production cycle? Where did you take the parts, and how are you going to deliver parts to the production site? Thank you for the question. That's our standard design. By the way, at the Russian venture company stand, you can see this nebulizer. It's a smart device. You can choose the mode of working mode, time span, and other functions. Our main suppliers are from China. We have already produced a sample, a trial version, and we have already signed the contracts with our suppliers from different parts of the boxes, from the cage and other parts of the nebulizer, and we're going to assemble it here in Russia. Thank you, Alexei. Next project, Anna Linik from Kemerovo. Let's get it started. Hello, my name is Anna Linik. I want to introduce CleanTech project. What are we doing? We are producing biological products and provide engineering support for modernization of the poultry industry enterprises. There are some questions. How do we deal with waste? How to increase efficiency? And last but not the least, how to provide available fodder protein to the market. Our poultry plants lose approximately $4,000 on that because it lacks the technology. Usually, regular poultry farm produces 3 tons of waste, but only a tiny portion of farms process this waste using thermal or chemical methods. The rest is just brought to the waste disposal. Thermal or chemical waste disposal are expensive, and those plants need to get protein from elsewhere. They buy synthetic amino acids, usually produced by European countries, and Europe accounts to approximately 70% of the market. We have effective solution, which is our CleanTech technology. What is the advantage of this? We use biological product. We take waste from the plant, process it with our product, and we get a completely new product at the end. The product we can put to the poultry feed. We have other competitors. You can see here feather meal, bone meal, synthetic additives, and our protein supplement CleanTech. The cost is compatible, so we're almost equal on price, but we don't have this protein loss, which is of extreme importance for the poultry farm. Let's consider the market changes of feed protein supplement. We guess that the secondary raw material processing methods will be dominant on the market in the coming years. Still, we have a huge amount on the market, which accounts to approximately 80 million tons a year. What are other competitive advantages? We sell engineering methods and our engineering approach, because most poultry farms already have equipment in place, and they just need to add one aspect to it, and that's our engineering solution, which comes in place there, comes handy there. So if we process and serve approximately 20 poultry farms, our gross profit will account to $4.4 million a year. We plan to open our capacities in the Siberian region, in central Russia, and the Far East Federal District. Currently, we have $250,000 investment into the project, and we still need $973,000 to scale our project. We have our offers for investors, that is 10% with the option to buy or sell shares in 3 years with a rate of 15%. We want to break even. We have return on investment on the second half of the second year from the beginning of the project. That's our team. We're 4 personalities having all sorts of expertise, scientific, business, as well as consultants focusing on innovative products. The bottom line is we're dealing with production of biologics aimed to solve the problems of poultry industry. We need $973,000, and we offer 15% on share return. Thank you so much. Any questions? Anna, 3 tons of day waste you get. What's the share of the what the share of feather waste? Thank you so much. It's a good question. I want to start with saying that the waste of poultry farm, so feather accounts for 45% of the biological waste. That's all without that's also including heads and other parts of the poultry, but the fall of the poultry. One more question. If you have an investor, and investor wants to sell its share either through IPO or to the bigger investment, have you already started preliminary negotiations, contemplated with this thought, studied the opportunities for that? Of course we did. We have a couple of companies who want to buy a license, but our plans are to start our own production first, open our premises, set up the company, and using the profit develop other fields of study which are interesting for us. Anna, have you already had test facilities where you proposed your engineering solution and started producing samples? Yes, we had that in Siberia, because I'm myself from Kemerovo, and we have also have a couple of poultry farms. So you have already first clients, but the customer can't provide their feedback because you haven't provided your engineering solution, right? Yes, you're right. I want to be short, just a small remark. I'm not that good in this field, although I know that the market is really promising here. I don't recommend you to impose the pattern of the deal to your investor, because they don't like it. Because the investment will offer its own solution, and offering discount rate, you limit your opportunities. Because being an investor, I want to stick to the market values, stick to the market price of your share. Putting the option for investor, you either punish yourself or your investor, which is the wrong thing to do. Yes, in any case, we're gonna deal with that individually with every single investor. As far as I understand, you are using the ferment process, and the stem of the bacteria. Is that your own discovery? Yeah, it's our know-how, and we have a patent for that. So bacteria strain is my own property. I dealt with that 5 years ago. If we take risk estimates, when they started to feed cows with bone waste, then the problem of cow diseases appeared. If we consider medical health risks, how safe is your product? Yes, currently we feed our poultry with feather powder, and besides that, poultry hens can't get mad cow disease. That's why there are less medical risks involved. Talking about technology at the quality level, if I'm getting you correct, the waste of poultry farms mainly consist of feather, bones, heads, and other types of waste. And basically, it cannot be processed into protein because it's calcium and other non-organic substances. What is the effectiveness rate of your process? What's the effectiveness from? It's approximately 80-90 kilo from 1 ton of original waste. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Distinguished friends, we have 2 more projects in this session, and now I want to introduce Alexander Sebastian from Novosibirsk project called Brain Target. I want to draw attention for our doctors to this project because that's the doctor developing software. Alexander from Novosibirsk Brain Target project. That's the software to interpret objectively the problems at the intra and post-treatment periods. You can see here 2 shots from the MRI, and supposedly we have some problems here. We have some blood there, or maybe there is a tumor. But to treat tumor, you need to know the size of the tumor, its position, and many other things. On the right shot, shot to the right, you can see vascular malformation. And to treat this malformation, the doctors have to have precise information on the malformation. And that's a challenging task. What we currently have, at stage of diagnosis, usually doctors can diagnose the tumor, but on the following stages, on the surgery stage, they fail to get the data, the information they needed. Here we have pre and post surgery shots. And here, apparently, we deal with the planned surgery, which is safer and cheaper than the emergency surgery. Here we have vascular malformations, again, pre and post surgery pictures. That's X-ray test. Here you see the situation when doctors manage to avoid complications after the surgery. What do we have? We have, with the conventional diagnostic methods, we have a puzzle, and it's difficult to deal with the puzzle, especially in the surgeries, because that's the place where you want to reduce the risks. To solve this puzzle, we have our software, which can be used with every regular personal computers. The advantages of our technology is to increase the survival rate, to reduce the risks and money efficiency. Currently, we have 50,000 surgeries a year in 60 hospitals with 30 billion rubles financing. Almost half of this financing, 14 billion rubles, goes for the complications and repeated diseases after the surgeries. Basically, we can spend this money on improving the quality of diagnosis. So our target customers are the hospitals with neurosurgical departments and other hospitals. How we want to sell it? We want to sell the licenses for single use, which will cost 1,500 rubles, and the year annual subscription. Depending on the price will depend on the number of surgeries a year, and we'll also provide separate services for X-ray tests, for MRI and computer tomography. What have we already got? We got the patent of the Russian Federation positive feedback from different doctors, including Novosibirsk, Far East region, and Russian railway doctors. We have PR campaign. We have already conducted tests and trials, and tomorrow we will become the resident of Skolkovo, and we'll present our invention there. What our plans are? To introduce this product to the standard of medical assistance in Russia, to get certified feedback from our doctors, and many other things. We have our CEO, that's Gleb Sergeyev. He is the creator of the idea and neurosurgeon. Leonid Kalny is dealing with technical things. I myself is a doctor, but I have my own business, and I'm also involved in this project. And Alexei Krivoshapkin, that's the top surgeon in the world, neurosurgeon, and he's the lead in the world expertise in neurosurgery. We also have consultants, Igor Tarantin, and our colleagues from Munich. Your questions, please? Could you please switch on the second mic? How is your product actually protected from copycats, from breaking the code? So far, there is no real protection. We will come up with technical solutions for that, but to copy that, you need too much technical and medical expertise. Yeah, so far, we haven't protected it yet. We're just giving it away to our friends and colleagues to try and provide feedback for us. Just a couple of words about your competitors, the competitors you actually know. It's difficult. It's difficult to talk about competitors. Doctors are actually our competitors who analyze the pictures with their own eyes, actually. But doctors are hardly to be called competitors. So maybe there are some companies in the world. Maybe there are some solutions for private use, but the surgeons don't know it, and I can assure you that. You talked about making your service as standard in medicine. Could you please specify how you're gonna do that, your steps in 2-3 years term? To do that, we need to have a certified feedback from chief neurosurgeon. The problem is that we don't have chief neurosurgeon. Recently, Professor Konovalov ceased to be chief neurosurgeon, and as soon as this professional is appointed, will apply to him. Could you please tell about the algorithm of application? So your software will make decision whether further surgery is needed or not. Our software will make the post-treatment more effective. So doctors will base the decisions upon your software. Your software is a diagnostic tool. Yes, I think so. Do you need any registration clinical trials to apply this software in Russia? We talked to relevant people on that. No, we don't need the clinical trials. Actually, I disagree with that. I'm not sure about Russian experience, but in the rest of the world, you'll need clinical trials to use this software. That's right. That's right. To enter the world market, we'll have to do that. And I think the procedures there is much more challenging than just the opinion of the chief neurosurgeon. Vadim Kulikov, I'm not a professional neurosurgery, but to put it in simple terms, you get rid of gray color from the MRI pictures. I myself would also improve the quality of the pictures, but in other fields, in physics, we deal with CERN and other major installations. So what's your basic technology? You just get rid of the gray color? How can you say that your software is improving the quality of the picture and thus the quality of post-treatment? Now, we have already said the success stories. We used our software for the actual MRI pictures, and we managed to prove that the software improves the quality of post-treatment. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alexander.
And when the last project of this BioTechMed section, these are Moscow guys. Please, Alexei, Quantum Cure. Good afternoon, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury. I would like to address every one of you from here because we need your help. The Nature magazine called the oncology a plague of the century 21, and we can only fight this plague if we do that together. I will consider my goal achieved if you remember at least something from my presentation. I want you to understand that oncology is not a death sentence. It's just a diagnosis, and there is always hope. I came to oncology not because of my successes. I'm a doctor, I'm a traumatologist, I'm a spinal surgeon, and 6 years ago I lost my member of my family who was diagnosed with a tumor. There was 3 years of chemical therapy. There was blood, there was pain and death at the hospice. Me, as a doctor, I couldn't do anything. I was a doctor with different specialization. And every year there are hundreds and thousands of people who are facing this problem, these bad tumors that make the whole families in the United States spend and lose all their money because the medical systems anywhere in the world could not support it. In the year 2011, at Silicon Valley Open Doors, we presented that project very successfully. I entered in it as a CEO, and we are now introducing the technology. We created very elegant, simple technology. We're saying that very concentrated chemotherapeutic agent, 2 or 3 or 4 of them, will just kill a person. But with using of our technology, you can targetedly deliver it in a very simple way. You use a specialized needle and a multi-factored application. In this way, you can kill a tumor up to 4 centimeters, if this is a solid tumor, at the very place where it was born. And the same way, it will kill the complications and all the secondary tumors as well. We are able to work with our needles with different types of tumors, be it solid tumors, of different types, different parts of body. And this is a technology to work with advanced tumors. Our main market is United States, India, Russia. These are the places where we're going to introduce these technologies. Our value proposition is work with pharmaceutical companies. We are going to give them an opportunity to introduce their branded pharmaceutical drugs with their generics without actually being afraid of harming someone, and they do chemical therapy where it's needed. Another value proposition is for patients. Less complications, less pain, less possibilities of something going wrong. In 5 years, the forecast will be much better. Our third value proposition is Skolkovo support. We are supported by the system that we are part of. many people I know consider us a success story of Skolkovo. Our today's goal is to show that new biotech is not only Boston, it's also Russian Federation. We are going to make a project basing on Stanford scheme, based on patent schemes. In our company, we have scientists, key opinion leaders of a world level. I'm a serial entrepreneurship and business agent, and I decided to be head of this project as a CEO. At this stage, we invested in this project on our own. We won some contests. We entered the top 5, and our main goal, again, is to fight the oncology altogether, and we can do that together. Thank you. Please, your questions. From your speech, I didn't really get what's your technology about. Briefly, our technology is as following. On the first stage, the tumor on the surface of the skin or under the skin is applied with the needles that introduce epinephrine that create a toxic block that actually blocks everything. Nothing goes out from it. And then inside the small balls, we introduce some concentrated chemotherapeutic agents. Then there goes electrophoresis, hypothermic electrophoresis, and the tumor is actually filled with the agent. After the procedure is finished, we take everything out of it, and the wound is actually closed. We went through clinical trials on the first prototype in the framework of Smolensk Medical Academy. We did that during 5 years. 100 of patients were actually treated. Our co-founder did that. The oncology is quite a tricky thing. You have to describe the stages very, in detail. This free survival is not working for oncology. I have a comment. I guess these could actually help to improve the target characteristics of the agents and drugs. But how are you going to be exclusive at the market? You take some standard methodologies and you use them all together. How can you actually protect that? What's that patent about? How are you going to become exclusive? Thank you, Evgeny, for your question. This technology indeed is a combinational therapy that consists of some certified technologies of treatment. Electrocooperation is certified in Israeli company that is used it for kidneys tumor treatment. We created a patent. We made, with the help of Kruni Godwin LHLOP support application. Some very good IP experts helped us to make this application. In our patent application, we describe the way of introducing the drug, the agent, with the consecutive medical influences. So the patent that we have is very relevant. If it goes as we plan, we can obtain a classical patent. But still, I don't get how you can protect it. What's the product? You're selling needles separately, or you're selling ultrasound equipment, or what is that about? What are you going to protect with the patent? We are going to protect the technology. We are going to protect the methodology and the equipment itself. But our goal is not to keep this technology to ourselves. Our goal as a resident of Biocluster Skolkovo is to create the technology available for other scientists, for other pharmaceutical companies. Our technology might be a base for other spin-offs. We would like to offer technologies to other companies of Russia so that other companies can develop it further. We would like to get the license. We're not, aiming of putting 10 products in 10 hospitals. We are having more a global approach. That's why we wrote on the last slide, we're going to get FDA approval on the first and second round, etc. Alex, what's your strategy on fast scaling? How are you going to actually do these sales on the American, Chinese markets, alliances with some med pharmas or investments with some specific funds? What's your strategy for the development of international expansion? Thank you very much for your question. It's quite difficult, but I'll do my best to answer it briefly. In June of this year, we made a speech at Startup Village, and we actually introduced a wonderful product for curing of orphan tumors. It's called Compressor. Now, unfortunately, it's at the very early stage, but with AstraZeneca, we are able to create a very good case. We are cooperating with the American office of Novartis, Roche, Clovis, etc., because they never actually saw anything of the kind that we offer. Probably they did, but they never thought it expanding that fast. Our main goal is to go to Russian and Indian market. Why is it so? Because with the number of tumors and with the number of pathologies that exist at this market, this is exactly what the market needs. But if we want to find a tech investor, of course, it's the United States. Thank you. More questions? Okay, I would like just to warn you from, excessive optimism, because oncology and all oncological diseases are systemic diseases. Everything that you showed here, including those pictures with that lip cancer, it makes a good impression. But though the market of lip cancer, which is cured very well, it's a different thing. You have to analyze the market, considering the fact that cancer is a systemic disease, and some effective treatment of some separate tumors might not critically influence the average level of it. I will just do one brief comment. Your opinion is quite right from the point of view of classic physiology, which I used to learn. And there is a very easy tendency and concept of the modern pharmaceutical companies and producers of medical device. They believe that the tumor has to be cured at very exact and separate place. The kinase inhibitors that Novartis, Roche, and AstraZeneca create, these are exactly what is needed to kill every separate mutation tumor. This is a targeted therapy. This is the new medical step, I'd say. Thank you very much, dear expert, dear participant. And with this, we finish our biotech section. Though I would like to make a small comment. I would like to introduce the Vice Rector of Tomsk State University, and he really helped us a lot in organizing this very event. Can you please tell a couple of words? Thank you very much, Oleg. Indeed, we did a great job, and we are really proud of the project that we have chosen. These are 332 projects all over Russia. We've been training these guys a lot. We've been explaining them how to position themselves a lot, and I hope that you understood them and you heard them, and I hope that all the 6 projects that we introduced here today will find their investors, their mentors, and their at least friends among these people. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much. With this, we finish our pitch session. Now we have a break. Now we have a 15 minutes break, and after that we start. We have half an hour break. So it's 4 p.m. Let us start IT section at 4:30. Thank you.